All right, Scorpio, what's going on? Is it getting kind of heavy? How you feeling? You feeling pretty good these days? Are you feeling like you need a little bit of help? What else could be going on for you guys? I'm just happy to see you. We're going to ask Tarot here what's happening for Scorpio here for mid-July. We're looking for the healing messages for Scorpio. We're looking for any hidden messages, any stuck energies that will help Scorpio along their way in their travels for these last couple weeks in July. All right, it's getting pretty close. Couple flippers. Take note. What do we got? An Ace of Wands, a Two of Pentacles, and the World. All right. Well, here it looks as though there could be some sexual energy that is typical of you guys, but it could be pronounced at this time as well. This could be like a balancing act. There could be like a lot of busy energies going on when you kind of step out your front door. But you're almost to the point where it's like you're tired of keeping up with the Joneses or doing the rat race kind of thing. There are some options or these decisions you could be making at current time to invest in different ways in yourself and in your career path as well. Ace of Wands, Two of Pentacles. That's on your way to a new career, right? But the World is here, so that could be due to the fact that there has been some sense of completion or realization that maybe a situation cannot go any further. We've discovered all there is to know about something. So, all right, we'll keep that in mind, Scorpio, as we go through. I want to wish you all the best of travels. I hope you're all in a place where you can be in a receptive mode to set your intention and receive the messages that are coming forward for you, Scorpio. Remember, the readings are for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, so set your intention now. We're going to look at the bottom of the deck, the overall energy. You guys have a Queen of Wands. Okay, so Queen of Wands is a helping hand, is usually welcome assistance of some sort, a kind word, a gift, something of this could come your way from somebody that maybe you do not expect, or from somebody that you had not maybe placed a lot of value in. And when I say that, it's like it could be like you may have like never thought that they would go to this length for you, and then you may find out that you'd be surprised as well. Some of you could be in situations where you could be getting some sort of counsel, advice. Could be legal counsel, could be like even just like regular counseling from somebody here whose intentions are the best for you, who's seeing your situation maybe a little more clearly than you are at this time. Hopefully this person isn't being too overbearing with that sort of stuff, or kind of being in your personal space, but it's for the greater good. It's to help. It's like you don't want to end up in a situation where you shout at somebody and all they do is say, well, I was just trying to help, right? Because sometimes that can get miscommunicated a lot of times between Sagittarius and Leo and Aries, what's going on there. So the Queen of Wands is here in your environment. It's a good time to take note of the people around you and see who has like the interest of your group, or is someone who is like moving in harmony with you at this time. And there may be a situation where you could find something that's even more mutually beneficial between the two of you. All right, if we want to look at this as an outside person or this help, I see this as a help, right? If you want to internalize this card, now is the time to try and get in touch with yourself. Try and get in touch with what you want to do. This, when we look at the internal of this, the cards that flipped out, that ace, the deuce, and the world there, that was like kind of somebody that's like reached a completion with where they want to be, or with a particular portion of their journey or a chapter in life. They've realized, okay, yes, I'm here, I've arrived. What's next? What's new, right? And this Queen of Wands is somebody who's like sort of like mastering things, like certain levels or tasks that you achieve, or achievements that you get them, and they're subtle things. Nobody gives you a plaque or a medal for these achievements. These are like the smaller, subtle ones where you're like, okay, now I know, like, I'm a first-time homeowner, or you know what, I've been married and I've been divorced, and I've been to court and I've done that rigmarole, right? Where it's like, okay, what's new? What's next? What does life have in store? And the Queen is kind of always looking for the best path to get to more knowledge and more uncovering of self. So it's really good to see there. All right, Scorpio. I'm trying to cut to the chase with these general readings. They were getting a little bit long, so I'm trying not to be long-winded. We're going to move along as we can. So starting out with your grounding card, Three of Cups. Excellent energy surrounding you at this time for get-togethers, for friendships, and making time for friends. Perhaps you may find yourself in a situation where you might be sort of on the fringe taking care of somebody, or maybe even directly taking care of somebody, like helping them, like with physical things, with getting out and about, that sort of thing, generating some really good energy for you. That giving and the ebb and flow of like giving and receiving is favoring you with this Three of Cups in your grounding card. It's like people are in appreciation for you being as giving as you can be sometimes, Scorpio. It's almost like that dual side of the coin. There's certain times I feel where you're just like, nope, not even interested in, looking outside of my own sphere right now. And other times where it's like, wow, it's like you didn't even realize yourself that you had so much of yourself to give to a situation, a person, whether doing it with, awareness of this is what you wanted, or even reluctantly doing so at times, right? The Three of Cups is saying that there is harmony through help. Again, it's reinforcing this Queen of Wands, which is interesting. So look, on the daily level, if friends invite you out, or if somebody calls you and say they need to borrow a tool, or they need to lend a hand with something if you could, or they're valuing their opinion because they may be feeling stuck, go out and do it. Make a time of it if you can. Fit it into your schedule, Scorpio. I still have this feeling like there's excitement, there's busy energy around you at this time. A lot of you are going to be like sort of up and into it, but you're kind of doing it with like with purpose behind it. Like ambition is like really charging you like at this time. So this quick moving energy is favoring you. So remember, sometimes just to take a time out for something that's like just for fun, go ahead and do it, right? All right. King of Swords up reversed in your sacral area. So this is your creative centers. This is your past, things you're passionate about, and as well things that revolve around maybe your sexual relationship with another person. So we've got King of Swords reverse up here. So this is a tough energy to see. Some of you may not be feeling harmonious with a lover at this time, or there could be situations of dealing with an ex-lover, because I want to mention what I saw there. It's like, yeah, maybe you have been married and divorced. Maybe some of you that are checking in from Scorpio here are like looking to finalize things, or looking to hammer out something through mediation or negotiation, and it's just not going so well. Because someone is like not wanting to see your point of view. This as well could be people getting your goat a little bit, because it's almost like you're questioning who around me is listening authentically to anything anyone has to say. Not just me, but like, is everyone out in la la land, or are they always just looking at one-upmanship? You may be finding a lot of this energy because people are going to be excited and quick moving, and there's the time for authentic sharing may not come, and some people may find themselves in situations where stuff is miscommunicated, and stuff is misconstrued, right? And you're having to like go and rehash the same thing over and over 4 or 5 times because somebody's just not listening authentically. They want it their way. That's the way it's gotta be. And then they're like, well, why didn't I have it my way? And you're like, well, that was impossible. Why was your expectation that high, and why have you held on to it so tightly? Because at the end of the day, what we're looking at here is just somebody who really wants to sort of make sure that they have the last word. Those conversations where it's like you're saying goodbye and you're like, hey, goodbye, and they're like, goodbye, and then they tell a little story, and then you're like, oh, you tell a little story, and then it's like that person that just has to have the last word is what we got here with King of Swords. So for some of you Scorpios that are being creative, this could be like a hangout friend, like a good person that you spend a lot of your time doing awesome things with. Or at the same time, this could be a lover for some of you, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or a them's or their friend, where it's like there could be a situation where something is not being communicated. It could be leading to a little bit of lack in terms of like the passion that's between you. It's like somebody in the relationship, I gotta say somebody because these are general readings, somebody in the relationship seems like overly passionate and very into somebody, and the other person seems like it's just like almost taking that person for granted. They're not being very authentic. They're just kind of like looking at it as like, okay, this is where it is, right? So this here again, this could be a situation where somebody is uncertain about if that person, if we're looking at this situation as that couple, if this person is even faithful, because why aren't they present in the moment, maybe in the bedroom, that kind of thing. This is getting very personal now, so it's like, kind of, ew, I don't want to read into that stuff. But, you know, when it comes out, that's what comes out, right? I picked up on some different sexual energies with you guys. So there could be a situation here where it's like, somebody is not being authentic in terms of like maybe even the words, maybe even going through the motions, the actions of what love is, where the other person is just like almost like clinging or has the potential to like be invasive on somebody else's space, and this person's having none of it. Now, we've got fire signs and we've got air signs, so I'm not sure how you fit in, Scorpio, and that's why I said it's a general reading. I got to use the term someone, right? But the question is if you're having trouble getting through to somebody, ask for help, ask for spiritual guidance, ask their true intentions, their true colors to be revealed, even through non-spoken communication, through what they do, right? That sort of thing. And you will maybe come to see the answers you're looking for in regards to this person, this King of Swords reversed. If we want to internalize this, this is just the exact opposite side of the dime, Scorpio. When you're in situations, if you want to be like that problem solver, that peacekeeper, all you got to do for these next 2 weeks is listen authentically, because you'll be like one of the few in the percentile that actually, you know, has that in your persona where it's like, oh, okay, that this person really cares. This person really wants to see my side of things, and they're not just thinking about what they're going to say next. That sort of situation, okay? And great problems can be solved as a result of that. Great communication. There could even be a breakthrough as a result of that, okay? Let's move on. Five of Swords. All right, now we got a little bit of the envy and the bitter infighting led into this reading with this Five of Swords up in the solar plexus chakra area. So some of you intuitively know maybe that somebody in your situation has been up to no good, but you don't know if it's time to confront them. You're just like, as soon as I confront them about it, they'll leave me, or maybe they'll automatically put this on me of saying that, you know, you're being assumptuous and I can't handle that. Let's go on a break, when really you know the real deal. You've seen what's gone down. You've felt what you've felt, and you intuitively know what you know. It's like nothing short of like being caught up red-handed. So this is like fallout from love triangles. The Three of Swords is the love triangle. Five of Swords to me is like the fallout from that. Like if there were like mutual friendships involved for some of you, or situations where it was like maybe there was an expectation of an open relationship, but somebody couldn't handle it, or somebody took it too far, and like there were things where it's like now there's like maybe like people don't want to talk to each other anymore, or that someone is feeling ostracized from a group in that way, right? Scorpio, I have a feeling that for you guys, what this is when you're following your higher path, you could be doing anything. When you're following that higher path, people who have not awoken yet or have begun their ascension process will tend to like naturally leave you feeling left in the corner, almost Five of Pentacles energy, where it's like, no, we don't want to deal with you. You know, you don't fit in here right now, and all you're doing is being your same old you, but you're just doing it from a higher frequency. So you will have the perception like, oh, I'm being ostracized from the group, but what the situation is like, that's for the greater good. That's because things are going on that, you know, these people would not even be able to accept or understand. So it could be for the best in those sorts of situations. And they probably still see you as like somebody comfortable, reliable, or a friend that can be looked upon, but they're so caught up in themselves right now, and everyone is like super hyper and busy and like really excited, and where you're just like, man, this is chill. This is what's going on. Why didn't you invite me out? Why aren't you talking to me, you know, at the water cooler kind of situation, where it's like, don't worry about it. This sort of situation will come to an end eventually, and for the positive, right? You get to realize what level people are at, Scorpio, through their ability to sort of swallow their pride at the best of times when it seems like they should be holding on to their ego even ever so more tightly. But then the people that can drop their pride, and you see through the veil, and suddenly you see the realness or the authenticity of that person there in the moment. That's when this energy allows more and more people in. You see how these swords are kind of surrounding her? It's tough. Even if these people wanted in, they wouldn't be able to get in. So the energy that's happening now is just for the greater good, so that things can rearrange themselves. Yes, in here, because we have the card of the sun, right? It's just saying, this is a matter of time. This is a matter of your permanence in opinion, in situation, in knowingness that other people aren't ready for. They're not able to accept it or something to that degree. And you could perceive it as like, oh, wow, they're being selfish. Or they may be like, oh, Scorpio's being selfish. Where it's like, no, realistically, the universe has just said, whoa, kids, like, you go over there and play hopscotch. You guys get the skipping ropes and go over here and do jump rope, all right? Because the hopscotch guys, you give them a rope, they're on their face. They just can't deal with it. They can't handle it right now, so they're going to go over there, and you might just be the only one with the skipping rope, and you're like, okay, we're both jumping here. We're both doing the same thing. I just have this different way of like expressing it or going about it, right? Where it's like, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen, and you're the chef, Scorpio. All right, let's move up to the heart. Now we got temperance reversed in your heart. Remember all those readings leading up, what was it, in May and June, where you had like temperance up in your reading like 3 times? And now it's here again, but it appears in reverse. It appears in your heart chakra area. So the feeling I have here is that there could be some timelines that have been not met. There could have been like, no, that's not right. Timelines that have been like left. So there have been decisions or things that you would like to have had revisited at certain periods of time, but you may have not gone back there. And you may, if you try through this time, you may find that certain doors are shut or are on the verge of closing. There are certain things where you may wish to go through them old contact lists and do the litmus test of who's still out there writing back. Who's still like, maybe a couple thousand miles away, but really wants to take the time to like write me a hardcore paragraph or agree to talk on the phone for a little while. Who are these people in my life? And do you have 2,000 friends on Facebook and you talk to the same 6 or 7 over and over again? What's going on with that, right? Who's looking in? What timelines have been kept or doors have been shut? Because people in the information age, it's like, they stay in touch with everybody. As long as you're friends on Facebook, as long as you have each other on Instagram, you know what's going on in their life. There's no need to catch up with that person. But really, there actually is a need to catch up with that person, because what goes out on there is simply just it's a reflection. It's a mirage. It's not the real person. So some of you may be finding that desiring like long-term relationships could be long-distance relationships could be a struggle, and certain timelines you may be finding like you may need to reach out so that you don't lose a connection, I guess is the feeling I have there, if that's what you're wanting to do. Of course, free will always enters into it, so we always just kind of check that out, right? Why is Temperance here? So, oh yeah, decision time, choices, right? That 2 of Pentacles popper that pulled out of the beginning when we were shuffling the deck there, kind of showing up here again. We got a couple choices here, and one of these choices could really, really involve going against the flow now. Really could involve you ostracizing yourself even a little bit more from certain things that may have brought you comfort in the past. But this is almost like that path, I feel, is like one that's got to be done like a little bit more quietly, a little bit more in terms of like your secret space, Scorpio, and you know what I mean, right? And there are other things that are going to be occurring, or another path that you can take where everything will be like out in the open, where you're just like maybe you're calling it like it is, or you may find yourself venting certain frustrations, things of that nature with Temperance reversed, right? because what is the opposite of temperance, right? It would be like, in my mind, it would be like frustration, or even such adversity to lead you to a point of imbalance, right? Temperance is balance. We don't want to be at that point of imbalance, right? So you could as well, somebody's following that timeline of the helping the person with some sort of mental illness, and this could be a loved one to them, and they may be curious as to just what they're seeing, or how they're perceiving things at present time. Like somebody, my heart goes out to you, Scorpio, on this one. What I would suggest here is find the beauty in each moment with that person, even if the work is hard and the sacrifice you're making is large. Seek the beauty out in the moments when you're there, when you're unavailable for other things because you're taking care of this person or this commitment, or when you are out with friends. Make sure you're taking time to acknowledge how much the people in your life mean to you. And it seems like sort of mushy gushy, like, no, but like, quit being such a sapsucker, Scorpio. Like, nobody wants to hear your mushy, like, weirdness, right? But at the same time, it's like, you gotta express yourself. If you don't, then we end up with this frustrated stuff and things going on, and it can be really tricky and trying at times. So try to emerge, I guess, as best I can when you see this card up in your heart. Hopefully this energy will subside, or you'll be kind of pushed out of it with whatever is going on here with this conflict, right? King of Swords, this could be an air sign for some of you, that there's really like a push and pull thing going on here, where it's like, it's almost to the point where it's uncomfortable, and like people are like kind of wrecking. There's more people around. I don't know what that's all about. Let's move on. Wow. The moon reverse. I can't make this stuff up. If you've been checking out your moon and your ascendant signs, there's a good chance that this card has shown up in your communication sector 2 out of 3 times. Because for some reason, and I think it goes back to what I said earlier about everybody sort of being in their own mind, but yet being very excited and hypersensitive, there's a lot of disillusionment going on in communication for these next couple weeks. I don't know why that is. I wish if I was a see all, tell all, I have 8 million subscribers, not just 3,200 of the smartest subscribers, right? Well, I'm telling you, I got overwhelming feeling, and the tarot is reinforming it, that communication is going to be laden in disillusionment for the next couple of weeks. And it doesn't mean like people are lying. People could be lying and just like not even caring about it. Other people could just have this version of their perceptive truth, which they just like assume that everybody else sees it that way, those kind of things. And then discussions aren't had because like somebody just laughs at that person, but yet they're still expected to be like this responsible, like problem solver, decision maker type person, right? So in that, what I want to say is, Scorpio, you have that knowledge now. You have that position to sort of be aware of what's going on right there. I would suggest your best path to follow almost as a result of this reading is to be a helper, to help when you can. You almost kind of have to put your feelings on the shelf for a little bit. We got a few cups, right? We've got 3 of cups, and then we've got 2 in the temperance card. So we've got a little bit of emotion that might need to just be sort of stationed away or put away. We don't want to get too charged up with this, because wow, that water sign behind you, Scorpio, and that intensity, if you guys get caught up in that area and charged up in this excitement that for most 90% of the people is going to be egoic driven, then you have a potential to erupt. There could be a rupture going on there in terms of frustration. But if you can just manage to know that this is something that arises and subsides too, and all things being fleeting, you may just be able to stand by, be authentic, and then you would end up being the helper, or even to some degree more of a hero when certain people are recognizing their follies or follies in others, or things all just come to surface, kind of come to light. The moon is saying, like, if you're going to be in conversation or talks with other people, we just want to go like quite slowly. We want to make sure like you almost tack on the "do you understand" to the end of the thing. Oh, Scorpio, that was crazy. My battery died, and it hasn't done that for a long time. So good thing it happened right in between cards. We were able to just plug her in for a few seconds, and I did my best to stay in the moment, and we're rolling again up into pineal gland, or third eye chakra. The card, oh, good job, you guys. You got the strength card. That's where we want to see this. That's where we want to see the power of tomorrow, being made manifest in the daytime. Through this area, through your vision questing, through your soul's personal journey, there is certain times in the road that you notice even in your physical self where it's like, man, maybe things just get a little bit easier. Or maybe the things that we've always been like viewing to be adverse are actually there just to sustain us, just to make us be that better person, so to speak. This is a card of great recognition of one's own self and one's own integrity. Pure strength is, I believe, comes from a place of integrity. It comes from, especially when we're dealing in the world, when we're walking through the world. If we're talking about our soul's path and our ascension path, it's kind of like, imagine your higher self just sort of giving you a pat on the back right now, or smiling down at you, letting you know, or like a hip hip hooray, like that you should be proud of yourself, and not fragrantly out in front of everybody, right? But what you typically can do is just say, it's all worth my while. It's all going to be good. And it's true because I have faith in myself and I have been decent, you know, through my time, through my friendships, through what I go through to each and every day. There's no denying that integrity that people have come to know and probably even look up to. But when you're looking at it for purposes of your own self, don't ever back down. This ambition thing, or that I was feeling earlier, this like sort of strength and diligence to go and do it, this is going to be like powerfully pushing you from behind. So you're going to be running the race with the chariots this time around, Scorpio. Don't get caught up in any of the melodramas that occur, when people are out doing the rat race thing and getting a little bit excited. I still see that this strength could come from an integral position, maybe of silence, or true help. Not even questioning it. Just getting in there, getting your hands dirty, go it out, lay down the framework, the fabric work, so that, people around you are not as stressed out, and they even be like, oh my goodness, they're doing twice as much as I am. I better figure something a new way to fool people, or something like that, right? Where it's just kind of like you're laying it out on the line, you're keeping it real, and you're getting it done. I thank you, and I appreciate that about you, Scorpio. Thank you for all your views and all your support. You guys always, just a monstrous following in Scorpio. Thanks to all the cross watchers, ascendant sign, moon signs. Remember, if a certain reading doesn't resonate with you, go check out some different ones, because there's a lot out there for you, okay? Whatever you might be going through. And on that note, if you would like, check out the Noren's Roundtable, not Noren Rad Tarot, Noren's Roundtable videos. It's on the same channel, but I'm going to be starting some videos, a line of videos where we just vlog a little bit about tarot, and we talk a little bit about our journeys. It's more of a place for sharing rather than just a direct pitch and catch tarot reading type situation. So come check that out if you feel inclined. Thank you for all your support, Scorpio. Let's see what's coming in from Crown. King of Cups. Here you guys are, but the feeling is it's going to be a challenge to grab hold of this power, grab hold of this energy, and make it work for you. Some of you are going to feel just like dodging it altogether. And you know what? I can't tell you how to live your life. You got to go out and do it. This King of Cups reversed is saying here, Scorpio, you got to watch out for that side of yourself that creeps in every once in a while, and it has the potential to be very limiting, be very that picture of that guy who's painting a floor, and he paints him all the way himself back to the corner, and then he's screwed because he's like, how can I get out without wrecking the paint job or my shoes, right? It's just because something simple was overlooked. And this definitely, when we're dealing with this strength card, and some of these, see all the lighter blues that have come through this reading as we've worked our way up, there could be a little bit of melancholy that is attached with this through what's going on in your heart. Could be due to singularity, Scorpio, or just due to the fact that, you may not be knowing exactly how you're feeling. The King of Cups reverses this. He's almost like down to where the page is, where he's like, I don't understand what I'm feeling. I don't understand what I'm going through. But clearly he does. He's just maybe in a little bit of denial that he's got to do something about it. So if this is you, Scorpio, it's kind of like best foot forward kind of thing. You want to be very gallant in your approach. I feel very refined. People can just get that sense of comfort around you when you're out. And if you don't care and you want to escape, go ahead, go do it. Just remember, someplace down the road, you're going to have to go and get yourself because you left yourself back over there on the bar stool, or you left yourself, back over there with a group of people you knew weren't up to any good to begin with, right? That sort of thing. Don't be afraid to be your authentic self. It's a challenge, I know, Scorpio. And I wish that I could just record endlessly and just keep encouraging you. But, at the end of the day, what we got to say is, like, that power exists in self. It resides in self. If you're coming up against adversity here, in terms of maybe even a lover's triangle now we're seeing at this point, right? Potentially for some, right? If you are coming up against some adversity, it's going to be whoever can become their authentic self first. You or what you're dealing with, what you're up against, right? Or maybe this is just two sides of you definitely needing to come to some more self-realization about maybe the way you have been, the way you would like to be, that sort of thing. Working on the personal sort of aspect, okay? But again, I'm not your dad. Here we go. Let's get an oracle card out for a capstone reading and see what's going on, Scorpio. This is just wisdom of the oracle cards. We pull one at the end of every reading just to check these out. I feel like I'm speaking with a lot of new visitors this time around. So thanks if you've just dropped in. The tribe. Here we go. Number 8. We've got some giraffes hanging out in a little shack out on the Serengeti there. Let's see what they're all about. I like to read for the guide to give you this message, Scorpio. So bear with me. We're at the page. Number 8. The tribe. Community, belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of family and friendship, and knowing your place in the world. This card signals a new affiliation with a group. Humans are social creatures, and we need to know we are useful to our tribes, families, and communities. In a tribe, everyone has an important function and feels that they matter. Membership in the group provides a sense of belonging, of kinship, a purpose that comes from working together for the greater fulfillment of all. Perhaps you are a part of a spiritual community or an artistic one. Perhaps you are in a learning community where you share your love of education. Regardless of its form or its focus, your community brings you joy. You will be inspired by it and want to contribute to it. Your contribution may be as small as showing up or as large as becoming its leader. No matter your position in the tribe, your presence is needed. All right, and we talked about that thoroughly. It's not surprising this oracle came up as the capstone because we saw you here as this helper, and it could be more than just one person. It could definitely be in the community, right? And again, it's a little bit counterintuitive because of this general reading. Some Scorpios are going to be still in this energy where they're feeling a little bit ostracized. They're feeling a little bit left out, perhaps, of this community. So a silent, gallant approach to putting your best foot forward and just, making people aware that you are still there, a force to be reckoned with, and you're doing it politely, considerately, and people got a lot of catching up to do, even though they might think they're winning the race. Okay? All right. Love you lots, Scorpio. We'll see you next time.